Hello and welcome to another video and podcast from fantasyfootballscout.co.uk. My name is David and today I'm joined by Benny Blanco for a very different type of video and podcast. We're still going to be talking about fantasy, but we're talking about making it a reality with Gameweek 39. And I'm joined by player manager for Team North and one of the event organisers in Benny himself, who actually, coincidentally, has had a very good FPL season as well. So good to have you with us, Benny. And why don't you tell us a bit about what Game Week 39 is and perhaps maybe share one or two tips on how you managed to finish 3K this season in FPL, which is a very impressive achievement.
Yeah, thanks for having me for starters, David. It's a bit of an honour to be on Scout. I have been with Joe on Meet the Manager when I was talking about Game Week 39 briefly last season. I'm probably the worst ever FPL manager that he'd ever had on that show. That was my honour. But yeah, I've had a good season this year. Finished 3,033rd, I think, so it was particularly good. But as with us, all of us fantasy managers, you long for a slightly better rank, and I took the captaincy off Kane just before deadline and put it on Salah. And even though I'm absolutely delighted, obviously, with the rank that I got, I did have a look at where I would have finished, and it was, 2,000, I think it was near enough 1,000 something. So I'm kicking myself over that, but that's what we do, isn't it? You always look at the things that could have gone better, but yeah, very happy with it. Yeah, Game Week 39. So obviously, for most people, the season's over, and we're all licking our wounds over how it went FPL wise. But yeah, we extend the season by one extra week so that we can just keep that pain going that little bit longer. And Game Week 39 is basically us members of the FPL community, content creators, YouTubers, and just people who love playing FPL all get together. The following weekend after 38, play a football game against each other. It's actually the North team, which is managed by myself, the South team managed by FPL Hints. Ash, who's quite well known in the Twitter community. And yeah, we battle it out one time to see who comes out victorious. And yeah, last season was the first year that we did it. It's basically Soccer Aid, but for the FPL Twitter community. That's probably the best pitch for it. And that's what actually sparked the whole idea. Ash was watching Soccer Aid, put on Twitter, wouldn't it be great that we did something similar for the FPL community? I responded, we shared a few messages, and then we came up with that concept. And yeah, North v South, it took place last year. South sadly come out on top, winning 2-1. David, you were a part of that victory. And yeah, but the ultimate, the reason why we've done it is not only to get together and the brilliant camaraderie we have in the community and the after party and the celebrations and all that, but it's all in aid of a brilliant charity called Street Child United. And we raised over 6,500. So we're doing it again, all for that same charity. And hopefully this time the North will come out on top.
Yeah, it was a fantastic event, as you said. And I probably feel almost disingenuous. I didn't actually also mention that, yes, I also have a vested interest in this and was very, very happy last year to be on Team South and enjoy that victory as well. So it's a slightly strange kind of video and podcast to do because I'm interviewing my direct competitor. I mean, do you feel mildly uncomfortable about
that? Yeah, a little bit, yeah. But I mean, me and you have done this before, so we know that we don't give much away to each other. Even personally, we don't. So we're certainly not going to do it in a public forum either.
I mean, that's very true. I mean, for those who are perhaps maybe just catching this on YouTube and unaware of what me and Benny get up to in our day-to-day lives, we have literally just come from doing pretty much this exact same thing for Planet FPL as well. But it's good to mention them, actually, because they have been a fantastic supporter of this event, and I know that you are just full of praise for what they've done for Game Week 39.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I say, Ash and I, we're not event planners. We had no, we came up with a silly idea which snowballed into becoming this pretty big event and consumed a lot of it consumed our lives for the last 2 years now. And we didn't really know where to go for advice and help with it. And a new event, there's a lot of people skeptical at first and being part of it. This doesn't sound like it's very well organised, when there's some lad from Liverpool phoning them saying, well, what do you reckon about this? They've never heard of. So luckily, James and Sudge, I'm a Planet FPL patron. They know me, and when I spoke to them about it, they got right behind it. They sponsored the kits that both North and South wear. That was really generous of them. And then they promoted the event. They plugged us everywhere, and then they even recorded the actual game itself. Came up with a big highlights package, all the behind the scenes, and they posted it on their YouTube channel. They've been real big supporters of the charity, and I don't think we would have got anywhere near the donations that we did get, and the event itself wouldn't have been anywhere near as successful as it was without their support. So it's a massive thanks to James and Sudge, and even the lads in the background, Nico and Manchild, and everyone else that's contributed from their side.
Yeah, and well, speaking of donations, how can people donate to this event? There's a number of different ways, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a few different ways. I mean, if we had our way, we'd ask you to all come along and be part of it and watch and, boo and cheer for your favourite players and favourite team. And that would be the ideal, because it's at Castle Vale Stadium, which is in Birmingham. It's going to be this Saturday, June the 3rd, prior to the FA Cup final. You'll be able to watch our game, and then you'll go and watch the slightly poorer version of Manchester Derby in the FA Cup final. So yeah, we would love you to be a part of it and come along. And it's £5 for a ticket, and that goes direct to Street Child United, the charity, as a donation. So that's one way. If you can't make it, or you're overseas, or you just want to, add a donation, even if you are coming, there's the opportunity to make a non-ticket donation as well. It's all via the Gameweek 39 GW39 North v South .co.uk website. You can find that as well if you're on Twitter. If you go to the Gameweek 39 account, which is the handles at GW39 FPL, and it'll give you all the links and all the stuff that you need to know.
Incredible stuff. Yeah, very, very easy to donate, and yeah, great cause as well. And I mean, also, just to be honest, an opportunity just to, as you say, see some of the big names in fantasy content creation battle it out. So who are some of the big names that we can expect to see? And I suppose a decent segue here to talk about what's new this year, because there's a women's match as well. So there's just an incredible tableau of personalities that we can see in action.
Absolutely, yeah. I'll touch on the women's game first, if I can. I mean, that's the new edition, really, and the thing that we're really excited about this year. Last year it was the men's game, and we probably just didn't have the time to get round to organising it with everything that we had going on. It was all very rushed to get all that together, but we really wanted to do something different, and there's some fantastic women in the community. We're big on inclusion and getting everybody involved, because that's what the FPL community is anyway. It's a platform where everyone's welcomed and everyone's got their place. So we really wanted to get some of the brilliant women in the community involved. So they're playing. They've got a game. It's a five-a-side game, and it's North v South, exactly the same. So we're rooting for the North girls to come out on top, and we've got likes of Lynn and Leah and Sophie and Elise. So a lot of people flying in from Scandinavia to come and play in that game. So yeah, we're massively happy that we managed to pull that one off. And yeah, the ladies are all really excited for that one. And Fantasy Football Fest, actually, Ed and Gianni have got together with and Mark have obviously sponsored the women's kits this year. So yeah, they look great. It's going to be a great start to the proceedings, and that will take place before the men's game. Some of the well-known sort of content creators and prominent members in the community, like Ben Crellin. I mean, everyone knows Ben, and we're all grateful for the help and support he gives us all season. And luckily, I can call on him to help me out for a change in the actual real life football as well. So he's not only helping me fantasy wise, he's actually helping me in real life. So he's a member of our squad. Ben Dinnery, the injury expert himself, he's another member of the North team. Got obviously yourself, David, from Scout, and Az. We've got Gianni, another Scout alumni. Who else? Ed. I mean, the list goes on. Focal is a new recruit for the South this year. So some real big names as well. But I mean, what was really important was we've got some small accounts as well, and some lesser known people in the community who are fantastic footballers who are going to take part as well. So it's a real good mix of everyone. And like I say, everyone's welcome on the day. We want you all to be part of it. So if you can come down, be there.
Yeah, I mean, we've obviously done a lot of this promotion for this event last year. We're doing it again this year, and I'm a bit of a broken record on this, so I might throw to you on this particular subject. I personally feel that this type of event is exactly where the fantasy football community was heading. This was inevitable, an opportunity for people to come together with a platform that, just speaking on a personal level, we have to be very grateful to you, the listeners, the viewers, wherever you access our content. If it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't have this platform that we can now use for a greater good. And it's quite humbling to be a part of that, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's just it's amazing. There's so many great people in the community anyway, and I think I was taken aback really, and surprised at how amazing it was. I thought it would be a successful event, but I never sort of envisaged that sense of community. Really, everyone got involved, everyone partaked in it, everything that contributed to the event was done by people in the community. It was all their own time that they gave up. Everyone gave up their own money to be a part of it, promote it. I think every single prominent content creator has had some involvement, and even if that's just plugging it on one of their streams. And we've had such support from every single aspect of FPL and the FPL world that it was just it was an absolute privilege to be, and quite humbling to be a part of the whole event anyway. And obviously, as the co-creator, although it feels like a lot of people give Ash and I a bit of credit for the work that we've done, it's absolutely down to all of us together that put this event together. I couldn't say that it's not a two-man team to get this together. It's absolutely a collective, and we're grateful for everyone that's contributed in whatever way they have.
Yeah, it's been fantastic, and as you say, very humbling experience. I've got a couple of pictures on the screen right now, which I know you can't see, but the viewers can, of some personal memories of mine for last year, which are probably slightly different to maybe yours. But I just wondered if you could talk us through some of the things that were a particular highlight from last year. I will probably stay largely quiet in this particular part of the video, just out of respect for yourself.
I'm probably grateful that one of the highlights is probably that I can't see these photos right now, Dave. I imagine there's lots of photos of Southern players happy and smiling and lifting a trophy aloft. But yeah, I mean, there's two sides of it for me, really. There's the Team North side of it, obviously being the manager of that team and the competitive person that I am, that I want to win the football side of things. So obviously losing that game was hugely disappointing, but I obviously wear the other hat as being the event organizer and planner. And the event couldn't have gone any better. And strangely, a South victory was really good for the event. The build-up was dominated by the North, just trolling the South players left, right, and centre. And it was borderline abuse at times, but it was all good fun and name of banter. But it really obviously motivated the South to come out, and they turned in a great performance, and they took us by surprise. We'll have to be honest with it, and they beat us fair and square. We were well beaten, but what that did for us, it galvanised us to come back again and really give it a go and take it even more seriously this year. And I think we'll get an even more competitive game. Both obviously the South will probably be slight favourites. They're the champions, and they'll want to go and defend their crown. And obviously we have to make up for what happened, and it is total revenge. And hopefully this time we can square the series. But yeah, the memories were just the fact that we lost. I mean, I hate losing anything, and that I went away with a smile on my face. I was thinking, well, that was a great day. We put rivalry aside, we were all back in the pub afterwards drinking together and had a great laugh until the early hours in the morning, and yeah, raised all that money for charity. And that ultimately is the biggest highlight, the amount that we actually raised. I could be very proud of myself and all of us for what we did together.
Yeah, absolutely. And just a nice little plug in there again, just if you want to make a donation, then yeah, check out the link that will be in the description for how you can do that, because yeah, it all goes to a very, very meaningful cause. You mentioned something in there that also flicked on a light switch in my head, which was just how much time and effort we put into this event. And I just want to quickly talk about how Team North and Team South, because obviously I can provide some insight here, how we've been preparing for this year's event. And it's all plugging into a fantasy game as well, which we'll talk about in a minute. But what's the last 12 months been like for Team North as you sort of toured your half of the country, looking for some new players and also betting in your current ones as well?
Yeah, I think if I look back at last season, the biggest, although I think both teams took it really seriously last year, one of the big mistakes that we made from the North team, and one of the challenges really, was that we couldn't really get together as a group that often, or it seemed very difficult to anyway. And we didn't. I think we had one training session where maybe 8 of the players were there. So I was going into the game itself, I hadn't not seen maybe half of our team even kick a football before. So, and that was pretty evident when we played. We were quite disjointed. We weren't like a team. And I know the South had a little bit more prep. They got together a few more times than we did, and clearly were more cohesive. So we in a sort of debrief after the game itself, over the weeks that followed, we said we need to get together more often. We need to play together. You know, we need to try and give that sort of create a team mentality a little bit more. And we also need to recruit some players. And one of the big things for me is that I didn't want it to be a closed shop that only content creators and, you know, big accounts, if you like, could be a part of the event and part of the playing side of things. So we thought, well, let's kill 2 birds with 1 stone. We could have trial games where the North get together and actually play as a team, which we needed to do anyway. And we play against a trialist team, and they've got a chance of breaking into the squad. And the only conditions were that you were an active FPL Twitter account, number of followers didn't matter. And that's been probably my favourite part of this year, is that we've done that 3 times. We played a game in Leeds, we played one in Liverpool because I didn't want to have to travel too far. I thought I'd give myself a break for that one. And then we played one in Leicester as well fairly recently. And through that, we've recruited 5 or 6 new players. You know, the social side, they were almost like little mini Game Week 39 events in themselves. So we all got together, played a game of football, and then went out and had a few drinks afterwards. And that team spirit and that bonding has been great. We've, you know, integrated those new players really well. You know, they seem like they've been there for years now. And yeah, we feel like we're in a better place as a team from a football side of things, but we're much closer as a group of lads as well. And I think Game Week 39 now feels like the end to a brilliant year of little mini events. And you know, we're already looking, what can we do on the back of you know, when obviously this season comes to a conclusion. You know, we're already thinking about the friendlies and the trial games that we can do next year. So again, we encourage other people to get involved. You know, if you're from the North and you're interested in playing and taking part, look out for those opportunities, because they will be there for you.
Absolutely. Well, you've read my mind, actually. I was going to offer the same thing for the South, obviously, because we've done pretty much the same thing, and it's been really nice to see people just come together and get involved, and it's helped us recruit players, as you say, but also just to meet new people. And we're very lucky in the South because we're near London, and we've been able to do meetups with FPL meetups themselves, and there's lots of events. And so if you've ever thought about going to one of those events, or maybe you've been to some of those events you'd like to get involved in playing some football, then by all means come along, because in the off season, a lot of our content throughout the year is very much like, who do I sign this particular game week, etc. But we're all united by a sort of common passion for fantasy, for football, and any opportunity we have to be able to bring people together in the name of those things is really nice. Which is also actually a nice segue into our final section, which is the fact that there is actually also a fantasy game attached to this. So when we're talking about games that fantasy managers can play this summer, if you need to get your fix, and you perhaps maybe like a short-term punt where you've only really got to pick a team for one game week, well, the Game Week 39 fantasy game is for that person, right?
Yeah, I mean, probably the coolest part of it for us FPL nerds was the fact that we were in a real-life football game against each other, all FPL managers, and a lot of us hadn't even met, but we all knew each other from either Twitter or YouTube or whatever. We all got to meet each other, but not only that, we got to pick ourselves in a fantasy game where we could actually score points, not only score goals and assists on the pitch, but we could actually score fantasy points for ourselves and other FPL managers. And when we came up with that idea and we got in touch with the guys at Gaffer, I mean, they've been fantastic, and the help and support to Sean in particular, who's been the main guy who sorted everything out for us. They couldn't be more accommodating. It was done literally. I messaged him for the idea, and he came back to me and said, "I can get it set up for you by tomorrow. Just give me the prices." So it was incredible. He's got the actual kits that we wear. It's all on the site. It looks so professional. And I think we had about well over 1,000 people register for teams last year. And really, that really included everybody, because people from overseas, from India, Scandinavia, America, they were all playing that game. And it made listening to the Spaces commentary of the match live, and then watching the YouTube stream of it on Planet FPL's YouTube channel afterwards all the more exciting, really, because they could actually see what we did or didn't do in mine and your case to score or not score them points. So yeah, I think we're doing that again this year. So you can go onto gaffer.io and register your team there, and it just extends that FPL sort of vibe for another game week at least.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the other thing that we also do on this channel quite a lot is help identify who the best captain is. And unfortunately, Erling Haaland is not available for this one, or he could be available next year. You never know. If we can get this event up to another level, maybe you'll be able to pick him in Game Week 39 Fantasy. Who do you think is the best captain for this game week? And you're absolutely allowed to be completely selfish with this one.
Okay, not me. Well, I did captain myself last year, and I will captain myself this year. But no, I'm not a bad choice. But I think there are better options than myself. I mean, you have to go with the South forward who scored a brace last year, FPL Nacho. I mean, he was outstanding. He could have scored even more. He's the most expensive player in the game, or the joint most expensive player, so he's got to be a shout. Sticking with the South FPL team, Peter, he was excellent, really good footballer. I was marking him, or tried to. So, and he's much younger than me, so yeah, I felt it afterwards. But yeah, we had a good battle, and he was a really good player, so he's going to be dangerous. Probably the standout for the North is Jockey. So that's Geordie. He's obviously got some history. He's a very good footballer. He's obviously injury prone is the only worry with him. He's had a lot of injuries, and we've been worried whether he's going to make it. He's hopeful that he'll be there and that he'll be able to play some part. But yeah, if he's a good footballer, he's the same price as Nacho. But Nacho's got the pedigree because he scored the goals. He's missed the game week 39, so I think he's probably the main man for us to worry about anyway. What about yourself, David? Who do you think?
Well, David Munday, obviously. I'm gonna tell everyone to captain me, right?
Yeah.
No, but I'm the same as you. I mean, I sort of look at my price on this game and I go, maybe a bit too much. So I will captain myself. But the players you've mentioned there very much are going to be who I'm probably going to captain. And yeah, very excited about Jockey. He seems like he could be, the new sign to come in and shake up the template, shall we say? But I suppose with my Team South connections, it probably would have to be two of the boys in red. But that's the great thing about this game. It just could create some interesting discussions. And certainly there was a lot of drama on Twitter last time out when I brought off Az and stopped him from getting that clean sheet, because we absolutely hate defenders not getting their clean sheet. So yeah, will that be at the back of your mind for this game week this time? You're going to be trying to get people some clean sheets, or are you going for the win?
No, just going for the win. All out for the win. I mean, it's just an added little extra, isn't it? I think all the South lads were cheering that Az didn't get that clean sheet as well. It wasn't just the North lads. So,
I'd never heard the end of it if he'd have got it. So.
Exactly. I think that's what we all thought, didn't we? I think we all got together on that decision. But I think weirdly, in the build-up to the game, you knew that there was a fantasy game and it was a bit of fun. And I took it seriously and put a team together, and I was like, no, I want to win. I want to win this. And I was thinking to myself, I want to get a goal, I want to get a return. But when you're actually in the game, you literally do not think about fantasy. And this whole myth that Premier League players are thinking about fantasy when they're on the pitch. Well, I didn't think about it once. You're just in the game and want to win the match. You literally didn't think about it. It's obviously something that you might do after the game's finished. So yeah, for me, I'll happily take a blank and 2 points again, as long as the North get the victory.
Yeah, I mean, that's an excellent comparison. It was a very eye-opening moment for both of us and a couple of the other guys involved. Just what it was like to be at the heart of a fantasy event and really just it have no impact on how you were thinking because you had this job, that job to do. And yeah, I mean, if that is almost like a social experiment to help fantasy managers prepare for the new season, then I suppose maybe we've done our job and help people think about the actual fantasy game a little bit in a slightly different way, perhaps.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so like that. Yeah, I agree.
Well, thank you very much for joining us, Benny. It's been great to chat with you. This is probably the most friendly me and you are going to be to each other for the next couple of days, because I think we'll probably be a little bit more heated come Saturday. So well done us, I should say, for managing to get through this without trying to punch each other. So yeah, I'm very proud of that at the very least. Just a reminder to you guys to make sure that you give this video a like and subscribe to the Fantasy Football Scout YouTube channel. And most importantly, especially during the off season, make sure you hit that bell notification as well. Now that there's no fantasy deadlines anymore, it's a lot easier to potentially miss any of the content. So with that bell notification, you'll get a notification straight to your device. So make sure you have ticked that. We're going to have plenty of content to come throughout the summer. We're currently going through a season review to go through the best players from the most recent season. And we're also just looking ahead to the fixtures, which is actually about 2 weeks away. So make sure you get your rest, but make sure you stay tuned for some updates on the new season. So with that, I will leave you fine folks to enjoy the rest of your summer, and we will see you next time.